Hey poker peeps, thanks for tuning in to a little leak plugging video. Today we are using LeakBuster 2 to look through our database, find some leaks, and then we're going to dive into one of them in particular, which is 4-bet honesty. Let's roll. So on the screen in front of you is LeakBuster 2 Professional Edition. Now, this updated version came out recently, and I really like what it does. LeakBuster 2 goes through your PokerTracker 4 or Hold'em Manager database with over 50 custom filters in order to find your leaks. On average, it's going to find somewhere between 10 and 25 leaks when you run your database through it, when you just hit this run complete analysis. But for this particular player, it has found 79 potential leaks. 3 critical, 7 very important, 8 important, 10 somewhat, and 51 spots that need attention. On the screen right now, you can see the top 3 critical leaks for this particular player. Now, this specific player, I have 8,541 hands on them, and I just chose them randomly to see what their leaks are. And I'm going to keep their name anonymous so that just to protect the innocent, I guess. But when we dive through PokerTracker 4, we're going to be filtering and looking at my own hands played. Now, one of the things that I really like about LeakBuster is that it gives you some pretty simple advice right here on the Advice tab. This is exactly what you need to plug the leak, but it doesn't give you all the information. You can think of this like bullet points, the most necessary stuff. They do have videos and occasional articles with more information to help you plug all these leaks, and I'll show you this stuff in just a little bit. Now, you can get a free trial or purchase LeakBuster 2 by going to smartpokerstudy.com/LeakBuster2. By using this link, you help to support the channel, and you keep me keeping on. The link is also in the description down below this. Now, like I said before, 8,541 sample hands on an opponent. And I think because it's a rather small sample, it says it's 9% accuracy. The more hands you put through this, so your own database of 50, 100, 200,000 hands, it's going to be a bit more accurate with the leaks that it finds here. So let's get to work on the first leak right there, having too small of a 4-bet range. Or if I just gave this leak a name, I would call it 4-bet honesty. Now, the advice that it gives you, pretty darn solid. You currently aren't 4-betting enough. You can see the 4-bet is only at 0.2%. Basically, 4-betting just aces and kings, and that's it, right? You need to look for profitable situations where you can add a few 4-bet bluffs to your 4-betting range. We recommend redefending your open raises from the cutoff or button when loose 3-betters at 9% or more re-raise you from the blinds. A lot of players adopt a 3-bet or fold mentality from the small blind. So if you're facing a player with a high 3-bet percentage, even if you don't have a large sample size, you can likely assume they are 3-betting wide enough range that they are exploitable to a 4-bet bluff. Absolutely accurate, spot on right there. When you do not 4-bet enough, they know that you have aces or kings, really easy fold. Even if they have pocket jacks or 10s, they're just not going to give you the value, assuming they're paying attention and they have a HUD showing your stats as well. So I really like this advice right here. They do have a graph, and I do not understand those numbers, so I don't use it. Now, the hands right here, we could go through and just review these hands one at a time. Just double-click this, hand pops up, review it. But this isn't good enough. We're going to have to go to PokerTracker 4 to really dive into the situation to figure out what the problem is. Why are we not 4-bet bluffing? Well, we already might know in our brain. We just hate bluffing that many chips. That could be the issue. But what we can do is go through our database and find spots where 4-bet bluffs may be a profitable play. Now, the last thing I want to show you is the video. Now, most of the leaks come with a video that you can watch. The video is called Advanced 4-Betting. Now, this entire video is 34 minutes long. So, hey, there's going to be a lot of strategy information here. It's from a player or a poker pro named Vital Myth. When you click on the various videos over here for the different leaks, you're going to see quite a few different coaches. But anyway, if you really want to plug this leak, watch the video, take notes, and then start practicing the strategies that he discusses here. but we're going to exit PokerTracker 4 or exit LeakBuster 2 because now that we know what our leak is, we can actually dive into the database to do a little bit more research. And that's where the magic happens. This opens your eyes to potential leaks, but then PokerTracker 4 is where you really find and dissect those hands utilizing the strategies from that training video in LeakBuster. All right, so here is my database from January 1st, 2018 and on. You can see about 99,000 hands played, positive 3.18 big blinds per 100 hands. Now, I'm definitely happy that I'm up, but I know I'm not as profitable as I could be, especially in these later positions. That win rate is just a tiny bit low. So I probably do have quite a few leaks that I can be plugging. Now, let's just imagine that that was my LeakBuster 2 analysis, and I do think that I have a 4-bet honesty leak. So the first thing I would do is take a look at the hands that I'm 4-betting with. Hold'em hand range visualizer. So these are all the hands that I've VPIP'd with over the past, since January 1st, 2018. But let's go to preflop 4-bet just to see what I'm doing it with. Okay, nice. Pocket 4s, 6s, 8, 7, 9, 8, ace 9 suited, ace 4 offsuit. So I am throwing some bluffs in currently. So even though I am bluffing, I bet you there are so many more opportunities where I can do more bluffs and take down some more bluff 3-bets from my opponents. So let's start looking at some 4-bet opportunity hands. So let's go back to summary here. Now, in order to have the opportunity to 4-bet, you've got to face the 3-bet. And I already have a quick filter for this one right here. 2-bet and then face a 3-bet. And in a little bit, I'll show you how to build this for yourself. But when we run this filter, 2-betting and then facing a 3-bet, I'm actually negative. So it's a bad situation to be in. If you remember in some recent videos that I've talked, or in some recent podcast episodes, I've talked about 3-bets are the bane of 2-bets. You make money on average every time you 2-bet. You lose money on average every time you 3-bet. So this is probably an area that I can focus on right now. Not specifically 4-betting more, but just what do I do when I face 3-bets and then work on that game. But let's stick with the 4-bet honesty thing. Now, if you're too 4-bet honest, that means you are not 4-bet bluffing enough. So if we take a look at some hands here, I mean, aces, ace, king, a lot of these hands are kind of no-brainer 4-bets or even no-brainer calls depending on who is making the 3-bet against you. But let's take a look at this one hand right now. Is this a good hand to open raise and then come over the top with a 4-bet bluff? Ace-8 suited is never going to be a 4-bet for value. So if I do 4-bet, it's because I want them to fold. So we get 2 folds. I open raise. Royal Bandit comes in. Oh, that's a pretty good size. That's a hefty 10 big blind from position. They're on the button right here. Now, let's see what the action is before it gets back to me. Fold. Oh, and a call too. So if I call right now, I'm going to be multi-way in the middle of 2 players. Now, before I decide to make the call or potentially the 4-bet, I want to have an idea of what Royal Bandit is 3-betting with. Very loose passive player. If I come over the top with a 4-bet, I might get a call here. That's another consideration. But this player, 2610, they don't raise that often. No 3-bets yet. It's greater than your average 3x 3-bet to 9 big blinds. They actually made it 10 big blinds plus a little bit. I think they just hit whatever button auto sizing they hit, but they chose a bigger sizing right here. Everything indicates a strong hand, very likely not folding to a 4-bet bluff. So I'm really happy with with that decision to just exit the hand right there. So that is one spot where 4-bet bluffing doesn't seem like a good one. But let's see if we can't find some more instances. Actually, let's play out this hand real quick. And ace hits, bet and a bet, or bet and a call. Check, check. Okay, yeah, pocket 10s, they possibly would have folded. Who knows? Ace 7 offsuit, at least we beat them pre-flop. We would have chopped by the river with that king kicker, though. But let's take a look at another filter where we can find maybe some more potential spots where we could be making the 4-bet as a bluff. So we'll clear the filter, and I'll build this one from scratch. So go to more filters, pre-flop. We made the 2-bet pre-flop. That's the start of this filter. And then, of course, we want the pre-flop opportunity to 4-bet. That means we're facing a 3-bet opportunity to 4-bet right here. Now, we also want to see spots that went to showdown. Not just where our hand went to showdown. We want to see all hands that went to showdown. Because sometimes we fold when we face that 3-bet. But if it goes to showdown, we get to see what our opponent had when they 3-bet us, or when somebody else potentially 4-bet or called the 3-bet. So that's pretty good for us. And I also want to add one last filter. Let's add hands that are not the strongest hands. So it's going to just come up with hands where we do not have those pretty obvious 4-betting hands. When you apply this filter, we're going to see that, hey, nice. Facing the 3-bet, hand went to showdown. We didn't have that. $103 or 103 big blinds positive money right here. So things are looking pretty good when we actually get to show, when a hand goes to showdown for us. Now, let's see here. Sometimes some of the most obvious hands to make your 4-bet bluffs with, and I'm sure that Vital Myth talks about it in the video, are suited ace hands. So let's just take a look for maybe a suited ace or two that could be a good opportunity. Maybe this one right here. Ace deuce suited on the button. So a raise, or I'm sorry, a limp, and then we come in. I don't like my ISO raise sizing. That's too small. I've made it too easy for people to 3-bet bluff me. But let's take a look. We do face a 3-bet from Home Tiger, a loose aggressive player with 3-bet at 7%. And their 3-bet in the small blind is 8.6%. That's pretty darn close to what Leakbuster 2 said about anybody at 9% or greater. But let's take a look at something right here. Versus the button, 3-bet in the small blind versus the button, 10.9%. Definitely a bluffer, so we see all the indications that they are potentially bluffing us right now. So what happens here? Fold, and then a caller of the 3-bet, they have position. After limping in, they call, and then we decide to fold. Now, I think this is probably a really good spot to come back over the top with a 4-bet, maybe to like 22, 25 big blinds, somewhere around there, to convince Home Tiger, who has a huge stack right now, to convince them that we mean business with our nice 22 to 25 big blind 4-bet. But that doesn't happen. We decided to fold instead. But let's see what happens. We filter, remember, for hands that went to showdown. So we're going to get to see what they both had. And would they have folded to our 4-bet? Half pot and a little check raise right there. And then a call. And actually it was an all-in call right now. So I don't know. Home Tiger might have been going for value or might have been trying to pull off a bluff, which at that stack size right there, you're just not going to get any successful bluffs at this point. They've already committed more than half of their pot. Ain't no way they're folding. Wow, and you were totally bluffing on that flop right there. And you were totally not folding with just second pair. Cold calling, limp cold calling a 3. Cold calling is not the right word. Limp calling a 3-bet in position with ace-5 suited. I really do think my, go back to it, ace-deuce suited could have gotten them both to fold. Come to think of it, I think Home Tiger would have folded. So this is probably a good spot just to fold, because after already committing more than to almost a third of their stack, Esquire might not be willing to fold, and we would have lost a lot of chips right there. Alrighty, so that's how I would go through and start analyzing hands in my database and looking for good opportunities to start 4-bet bluffing more, to get away from that 4-bet honesty. I want to end this video with a little bit of take action guidance. Using Leakbuster 2 and reviewing hands like we just did, that is not enough. You need to take the strategies you learn and any mistakes that you find during your hand history reviews, and then you need to hit the felt. Practice the strategies and practice not repeating any of those mistakes. Make sure as you play, you tag important or confusing hands for later review. And then, of course, off the felt, hit the book some more for some more studying and some more reviews. Rinse and repeat until you plug your leak. All of this is critical because action is the greatest teacher. And it's the only way you're going to plug your leaks. Alrighty, well, thank you so much for watching the video. Please like the video down below, subscribe, and ding that bell for notifications on future videos. And once again, take action and get to leak plugging.